It is because of your support, prayers, and contributions that great things are happening at the mission. 2 years ago, we were able to open the Navigation Center. Just a year ago, the Village of Hope campus was opened. And then 8 months ago, the Sobering Center opened. And 5 months ago, we added another house to our Transition of Hope houses, and we still are looking for another. But that's not what's really important. What is really important are the lives that are being changed. And I want you to listen to a couple testimonies that will just show you what God is doing in the lives of men and women.
My name's Donn. A little bit about me. I'm 37 now. I started having an issue with drugs and alcohol when I was about 13. I had a job, all that good stuff, but I just couldn't maintain. My drug use got worse and worse, and then when COVID hit, that kind of really took its toll on me. And at that point in time, I was angry at the world. I tried to blame everybody else for my situation. But in the end, it was my fault. I eventually got arrested. That was actually in May of 2022. And honestly, that was the best thing that happened to me, was going to jail. Before that, I was kind of going through some things. I didn't want to do drugs anymore. I knew that I needed to stop. I knew I needed to stop. I went to the rescue mission office a few days after I got out of jail, and there was a wait list. They said it was going to be anywhere from 2 to 4 months before I could get into the program. And so, I didn't know what to do, so I kind of slipped back into my old ways of just going back to what I knew, and that was drugs. And then I was at the place that I was staying at, going between sleeping on the street to staying there, because I really didn't want to be there, because I didn't want to continue to use, and I knew that if I could stop using, that maybe possibly I could get my family back. So God definitely was there with me through the whole thing, even though I didn't realize it. So I got to the rescue mission. I went through the Hope for Men program. I was an RA at the house over there. After that, I started to work for the rescue mission at the Village of Hope. I started out in the Sobering Center when they opened it up. I was one of the first employees. I went from there to the Hope Respite Care, and the rescue mission is paying for my schooling right now. I actually got a new job now for GO Reentry Services. Now I actually get to work with the same people that were in my shoes in a different way. Now they come in. I'm a client service specialist there, so I'm like the first point of contact. I'm the first person they see, which kind of sets the tone for how they interact with their case manager or their substance abuse counselor. I started there in January of 2023. I just actually received 2 clients of my own, or one client of my own as of right now. So I'm gonna start doing the case managing part as well. And the sky's the limit, because of the rescue mission, because of the opportunity they gave me, the things they continue to do for me. So they're allowing me to pursue my career, to help others at the house, to help others where I work. And it's just been awesome. So, I just want to say thank you to the rescue mission, because without God and without them, I don't know where I'd be today.
A good share of the time, the Hope for Men and Women program is running at capacity. And this puts us in a situation for many men and women who are wanting to come into the program and are ready. We simply don't have space, and they have to wait. Having a waiting list is really a negative thing. And so as we look to the future, we are hoping to be able to raise enough funding. It'll be about $10,000 a month more to add another house, so that we can bring men and women right into the program when they are ready, so they won't be back on the street lured into bad habits that keep them from really having their lives transformed.
Well, I started drinking at the age of 14. I was an alcoholic for 23 years. I went through a divorce that led me to drug addiction. And the drug addiction is where well, my life was falling apart all around me to begin with, but the drug addiction is when I stopped working as much. My life really fell apart. I lost custody of my kids. I became homeless. I started sleeping in my car. And I started going to rehabs, but the rehabs weren't working. The rescue mission is what I needed. It was a life transformation program. That's where the work really started for me. It was a heart change. There was lots of classes. From the time you wake up to the time you go to bed, it's all these different classes. It's the healing, and I was desperate. I remember there were several suicide attempts, and I remember just feeling desperate because I couldn't even kill myself. And I had given up on myself. I gave up my children. I lost custody, and I just remember crying out to God. And I had nothing else to lose. And I remember being brought into the rescue mission the first time. There was 3 times that I actually went into the rescue mission. The first time I lasted 1 month before I ran away. The second time I got kicked out. And the third time was when I came in to do the assessment, they asked me to retire my running shoes. And by that point, by the third time, the desperation was enough. And I was tired. I was tired of everything. I'm 38 years old, and I didn't want my kids to have to see their mom on the street the way I was. I wanted to break those generational curses. I gave it everything. So I ended up at the rescue mission. And I remember I signed up for a mentor. I did the Restore Merced, the work-life program, the faith and finances. I got a job. I restored my relationship with my children. At 6 months, I remember I was ready to graduate because that was the minimum. But God told me, it's not time yet. You need to wait. You need to stay in the program a little bit longer, because I was ready to move out. I was going to move to an SLE where they accepted children, because the rescue mission didn't have a sober living where they accepted children. So, but I needed to listen to the Holy Spirit. And so I stayed in the program longer. I got a call from my ex-husband. He was bringing the kids to me. I didn't know at the time why he was bringing the kids to me. Now, the rescue mission didn't allow children at the sober living, but due to the emergency situation of him bringing the kids to me, they allowed the children to be with me on a case. It was a week-by-week situation where I was working on getting housing and whatnot. It took me a couple of months, but I ended up getting an apartment, a 2-bedroom apartment, because of my employment and what the rescue mission offered me. I chose to work part-time so me and the kids can have counseling, healing, and spend time together. I'm able to walk the kids to school and spend time with them and focus on recovery. Because when it comes to a parent coming out of addiction, it's a family that needs to recover. The Lord is my rock and my fortress and my deliverer, my God, my strength in whom I will trust, my shield and the horn of my salvation, my stronghold. Thank you.
Our vision for the future is to build Phase 2 of the Village of Hope campus. Phase 2 of the Village of Hope campus will provide the needed space for men and women in the Hope for Men and Women program, where they can learn, thrive, and discover Jesus. Phase 2 of the Village of Hope campus will provide space for a chapel, classrooms, a computer lab, and offices. This $8 to $9 million addition to the campus in the long run will make it possible for the mission to take in men and women who desire to experience the transformation in their lives that only Jesus Christ can bring. It will also provide space for women who have children and who are pregnant, which we're not able to accommodate at this time. The vision to develop and build Phase 2 of the Village of Hope campus might seem like an incredible stretch, and it is, but this is God's project, and we serve an incredible God.